All right, part two, how I have sabotaged my own career. And when I'm talking about career, I'm talking about my music career. I have not sabotaged my professional career. I'm doing fucking great. But I have certainly sabotaged my musical career over the years. And I definitely in the past have placed blame on other people who didn't fucking do anything to me. Other than actually help me out and give me opportunities that I fucking blew. And want to know how I blew it? By being too gardened. Way too gardened. And I'll give you guys just a little history. When I was 20, I would say maybe 19 or 20 years old, I had been writing songs. At that point, I'd been writing songs for about 8 years. I started my first band when I was 13. I used to play in bars when I was too old to get into them in high school. And then when I was living in LA, I started collaborating with my cousin, who is a really talented singer and songwriter. And she had a lot more connections in the industry than I did. And one of our first songs that we wrote was a song called Young. And immediately we got to record that with a producer who had won a Grammy for producing Madonna's Ray of Light album. And from that, we started getting some traction, just like being sent around songwriting in Los Angeles for other people. And at the time, in my head, I framed it as if I was being kind of like taken advantage of, because what ended up happening was, we wrote the song together, but then when we recorded the songs, my cousin really was recorded as the lead vocalist on it. And at the time, I felt like that was unfair. Like that was some kind of diss to me. I felt controlling over the song. I felt like, back then I used to feel like my songs were like my babies. And when it was framed that it was going to be like a girl pop duo, and then the product was really just a single for my cousin, and like I was a background vocalist, I started a narrative in my head that like I was the victim in that situation. But here's the fucking truth. As soon as that opportunity presented itself to me was the time which I started really, really, really heavily falling into a gardening addiction. And I really started hanging out with one, now I see it as toxic friend, who, as soon as I get this massive opportunity to work with Madonna's fucking producers and work with, I could list off a couple of other, like the guy who wrote Barbie Girl, and I mean there's quite a long list. But at the time, as soon as these opportunities started presenting themselves, was the time which I really, really, really lost myself into a gardening addiction, like all day long, every day. And that's the worst thing I could possibly fucking do to my voice going into recording sessions. And yet here I was showing up to, Madonna's producer studio, being high as a fucking kite. And then in hindsight, thinking that I had been some kind of victim for not being the lead vocalist on that track. No, I fucked my own opportunity up. I was scared. I decided to run away from these massive, massive opportunities in Los Angeles in the music industry. I decided to sabotage those by being awkwardly fucking stoned, awkwardly fucking high, and aggressively making it 10 times harder for me to sing. Making it a lot harder for me to sing by just coating my vocals with fucking phlegmy weed right before I was recording. And it was because I was scared. And like, that's the truth. And I did it in so many capacities. Like, I'll never forget, we got an opportunity to go to Cisco Adler's house. We went to his house in Malibu to he wanted to like listen to our tracks and meet us. And I remember Swayze was there. I had like met him before. We had kind of had a flirtation in a club, and I guess we're friends. But that opportunity showed up so fucking stoned. And I remember my cousin at the time, she was sober. So like, it was unfair to her that I was fucking up. Like, I was fucking up those opportunities for her too by being not present, by just being not professional, by showing up and being that way. And like, honestly, I mean, I tried out for Justin Timberlake's record labels high as a fucking kite, and then was shocked as like, why didn't that work out for me? It's like, yeah. So it just, and if you're an artist who doesn't do that, congratulations. But I think there are a lot of artists who do what I did, and the second they get some kind of opening and some traction with some major connections, they fuck it up. And I definitely did that. So anyways, this is the year of me taking accountability for how I have, like, I'm in this position because I created it. It's nobody else's fucking fault. It's my fault. But with that knowledge, I'm not going to fuck up future opportunities, you know? I'm going to clock it. I'm going to change it. I'm going to, just be more aware of the fact that I am where I am because of what I've done to myself. So if that helps someone, hope it does. I don't know. Cheers.